Welcome back to Swithbert Suplex Society. I am Swithbert, and we live in a society. The March 7th, 2026 edition of AEW Collision kicked off with a bang. We had FTR versus the Rascals, more specifically Wentz and Xavier, and it was for the titles because they pinned them a couple weeks ago, and it was a really good match. There was the high flying, there was the ground and pound. FTR had the upper hand for a while. Rascals got the hot tag, and Wentz ran wild for a minute, as he do. There was just a lot of stuff that happened back and forth. At one point, Stokely was choking Wentz with a cable that was on the ground because Stoke was in his wheelchair over next to the commentary desk, and that's just how things went. So, cool. We moved on to a quick little backstage thing with Hook and Shibata again. Hook's still looking to expand the members of the Ops. Bowens popped up and was like, listen, you might not think I'm a killer, but I can totally be a killer. Just give me a chance. And then they disappeared to go figure that out, I guess. So sometime in the next 2 weeks, we will probably end up seeing Anthony Bowens in a match against who knows, to prove that he could be part of the Ops and everything would work very well in his favor. I don't think it's going to actually end well in his favor because I'm sure Hook is going to pull some stuff, but we'll see what happens. So Shibata ended up giving Bowens the camera, and then they all just kind of disappeared into another section of the backstage area, and we moved on. We got Ciampa and Garcia following that. Very good match. I've been so torn when it comes to Garcia being in the Death Riders. He's taken quite a few L's while he's with them, but he managed to pull this one out only after he went down to the commentary desk where Briscoe was sitting, talked some trash to Briscoe. Briscoe got up, came over to the ring, got on the apron, and then Ciampa and Briscoe had a meeting of the minds, and Garcia got the victory off of that distraction. So, I mean, way to go, Danny. Cool. Then Briscoe climbed into the ring and was trying to talk to Ciampa and being like, hey, man, like, this is what happened. My bad. I didn't mean for that to be a thing. Don't worry about it. Like, you definitely are better than Garcia. He just got one over on you. Ciampa told Briscoe to get out of the ring, like, get out of my face type of deal. And he walked off to the back, or was heading to the back when FTR came back out, and they got in the ring with Ciampa, and then Briscoe slid back into the ring, so it was Ciampa and Briscoe facing off with FTR for a second. Then Ciampa and Briscoe got out of the ring, and they were backing up the entry ramp and Ciampa's like, oh yeah, thanks for having my back, or whatever. And then Ciampa finally showed a little bit of Psycho Killer stuff, which, like, finally. He ended up grabbing Briscoe by the back of the head, slamming him into one of the Tron screens. He took Briscoe's bandana off, wiped his butt with it, and now FTR were just in the ring like, ha ha, ha 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 ha, this is what happens, ha ha ha. And then we smashed to commercial. It's obviously setting up a feud between Ciampa and Briscoe, which is going to be awesome. We got a taste of it for the TNT title. We're going to get even more of it coming up pretty soon, especially after all this happened. We followed that up with Swerve versus Gravity. We haven't seen Gravity in a hot minute. Of course, we all know that Gravity is the younger brother of Bandito. And so this was some kind of like stand up for your family type of deal. Sure, I guess. I mean, I wouldn't categorize it as a squash match, but Gravity really had nothing going for him. So that was that. At one point, Swerve and Gravity were outside the ring. Swerve threw Gravity into the ring steps. And then he walked over and he tore just a big old hole right on the eye of Gravity's mask. Just tore a big hole right there. Slipped him back into the ring. Hit him with a house call. Game over. That was it. That was the whole thing. And then they left, and we moved on rather quickly. We got a quick promo from Statlander after that. Her talking trash after last week's Dynamite. Basically, just she came out of the gate saying, like, I don't speak unless it's absolutely necessary, and right now it's absolutely necessary. So that was the whole thing. She just called out Tekla, I guess, and was like, I'm coming after you. Deal with it, get ready, type of deal. We came back from commercial break again, and Tekla was walking out into the arena with a microphone, and this was completely unnecessary. We know that Tekla and Statlander are going to have a long-term thing. We get it. It's been very set in stone at this point. I don't think Tekla needed 5 minutes on the mic. She's not the greatest on the mic. The whole segment just felt unnecessary. We take it for what it is and we move on. And it was odd, but whatever. Like, we'll make it work. It's fine. Following that, we got a snippet from an interview between Renee and Mox. They were standing outside. I'm assuming whatever arena they were at in Tucson. Again, they were in Tucson this week, and I would have loved to take the 2-hour drive down there to see this, but it's Tucson. So it was just a little snippet of Mox basically saying, like, there's a chance Takeshita can beat me at the pay-per-view for the title, but I don't think he's going to. I know I'm better than him. I'm sure I'll win, but there is a chance that he could do it. And the whole snippet was like 30 seconds or so, and it was just him saying that. Then we came to the Fatal 4-Way tag match. I don't even know how to describe it. It was 4 different tag teams, all vying for $200,000 if they won. And it was a lot. It was 8 men, all tagging in and out at random intervals. Everybody fighting. Not quite a spot fest, but there was quite a bit of spottery. So let me tell you the name. So we had Jalisco and Roosh from LFI. We had Lee Johnson and Blake Christensen, otherwise known as the Swirl. We had Cassidy and Quinn, Private Party, and then we had Floyd and Magnum, the Outrunners. It was good. I mean, everybody looked really strong. It could have gone any direction at all at any given second. There wasn't really a lull in the action just because there's 8 dudes. There was constantly some sort of fight going on back and forth. But to my surprise, we apparently are trying to build Private Party back up, which, fine. They were great pre-injuries. I'm glad that they're back and they're both healthy. Everything worked out how it was supposed to. I have no complaints about it. It was a very good match. After Private Party won, they got the duffel bag with the money in it. They rolled out of the ring. They went and set up shop at one of the guardrails across from the hard cam. And one of them grabbed one of the stacks of money out of the duffel, and they were like kind of doing something with it. And I don't know if they did it on purpose. It happened so fast that I kind of lost track of what exactly was going on. But he pulled the stack of the money out. He was kind of doing something, and then it like wound up in the hands of a child in the front row right behind them. And the kid like looked at it and then like looked up at their dad and then looked at it again. And then looked up at Quinn, and Quinn was just like, hey, yeah, no, mine. And like snatched it right back out of their hand, and then they walked off. That was the whole thing. I don't have anything else to say about it. They snatched money from a child. There were a couple other things that happened right after that. We'll get to that at the end of the video. I want to move on to, we finally got to see Lena Cross in action, because it was Lena Cross and Megan Bayne versus the Timeless Love Bombs. Before everybody came out, they showed a quick package for what happened pre-show, where Cross and Bayne attacked the Babes of Wrath backstage, and there was just a whole kerfuffle. There was a moment where Cross and Bayne were going to do some kind of double team power slam onto Harley, or to Harley Cameron onto some travel boxes in the back, but they were like really close to the wall, and the way that they were setting this up, Cameron's noggin would have bounced off that cinder block so hard. Willow Nightingale saved her. And the whole time this is going on, this is my favorite part of these backstage things, is the entire time that was going on, you could just tell that behind the cameraman, there was like just a crowd of dudes standing there going, like there's just 7-8 guys just making noise. And then after Willow saved Harley, the security people showed up and they separated them, and Bane and Cross took off, and Harley was like kind of injured, and Willow was like checking on her, and that was that. So it was very interesting. So now Cross and Bane come out. They're going up against the Timeless Love Bombs. It was a pretty solid match. Mina got some good stuff in. Toni Storm got some good stuff in. Unfortunately, Bane and Cross are two very large, like tall, muscular, statuesque performers. So they ended up with the victory after it was probably a 7-8 minute match. It was good showing. Like I said, we finally got to see Cross in action, so I'm happy about that. They are imposing as a tag team, and I can't imagine like who is going to be able to take them out. I can't even think about it right now. I'd like to see the Brawling Birds go up against them, because I know both of them are very hard hitting, and I think it would be a very, like, for lack of a better term, hey JR, slobber knocker of a match. But I can't tell you exactly what's going to happen with all this. So it was very interesting. I don't know where Penelope Ford was. She did not come out with them. She could be taking the week off or whatever. We had a couple rapid fire things after that, starting with Briscoe backstage being like, Ciampa, I can't believe that you did that. Shame on you, but also shame on me for not realizing that that's what you do. And I know it's been years, and I thought maybe you'd grown, but here we are, and now you're aligning yourself with FTR, it seems. So why don't you and your FTR buddies fight me and my trios team of Dem Bucks? So next week we're going to get Ciampa and FTR versus Dem Bucks, which should prove to be a decent match. I mean, it's the Bucks and FTR. We know about them. It's Briscoe. He's insane, and we're going to get probably, hopefully, to see more of like what Ciampa's capable of. I'm already kind of calling it. That'll probably end up being match of the night. So no problems there. Immediately following that, we had the Dogs. They're not the War Dogs. They're the War Dogs over in New Japan. Over here, they're just the Dogs. So it's Kid, Connors, and Finlay. And they came out to a trio of jobbers, and I didn't catch any of the names. They didn't even give them a name plaque at the bottom of the screen. And the entire match was 3 minutes long, and it was 3 minutes long because they had one of their opponents in the ring at a time, and they just knocked the shit out of them in rotation. And Super Squash, I mean, we know that they're powerful, we know that they're crazy people, so again, mildly unnecessary match, especially because this was a standby match. So, like, why? Unnecessary to a degree. But it was fine. And we rolled immediately into a commercial break. And we came back from the commercial break. We got Toni Storm coming out. And Toni Storm popped off and called out Marina Shafir. And here's why I bag on Tucson so much. How many weeks has it been where we've gotten to watch this live? I stream on HBO. I know some other people watch it on live television, whatever. I missed the middle third of Tony's promo because the feed cut out. I had it running on 2 televisions in the house, just depending. I was doing a couple of small things like in between, like a commercial breaks and stuff. So wherever I ended up, that's where I was watching it. And it cut off on both TVs. Both of my TVs run different commercials. So I know that they're not like fully connected. Tucson sucks. We got to see the beginning of her promo. We got to see the end of her promo. I'm missing the middle minute or so of that promo. I'm going to have to go back somewhere and watch it online just to see exactly what was said. But she called out Marina Shafir. She wants her at Revolution. She wants her at Revolution. Everybody barred from ringside so it can be just the two of them knocking the shit out of each other. And the winner is the winner, and we call it a day. Then we came to a little promo snippet thing. I don't even know how to describe it. We got a video package from CMLL. Monet was down in CMLL. She was still technically the CMLL women's champion. She went down, she took on Persephone, and she lost. And Aubrey was the referee, which was awesome because she was wearing the CMLL referee garb, and it looked very interesting, but she pulled it off, and Monet is down one more belt. Thank you, Jesus. So now Persephone has earned the right to go after the TBS title, so she will be in San Diego on Wednesday, taking on Willow Nightingale after Willow gets back from her trip to Europe, because they're doing something. The Babes of Wrath are doing something over there. I don't know if it's a tag title match or if they're going over there because Willow is putting the TBS title on the line against somebody else. I'm not 100% sure. However, that's going to be interesting. I don't think Monet is going to interfere in any way, but she might. I thought she was on vacation, and here she is losing more titles. Too many titles. Ridiculous. But finally, we got to the end of the night, and it was Claudio Castagnoli versus Takeshita. And oh boy, easily match of the night. And not just because it was the main event, but because it was so hard-hitting. Both of those big, tall boys would not let up on each other. And it was a smack against a smack, against an uppercut, against an elbow, against a kick, against a knee, against the big swing, against a blue thunderbomb, which never works. And it was really good. Mox was on commentary talking trash. Marina Shafir was standing next to him in the area there. There were a couple of times where Takeshita looked over and like pointed at Mox and like made gestures or whatever, like I'm coming after that belt type of deal. Marina Shafir flipped him off on live television. Good stuff. And it really came down to who could push past their limit longer, harder, and we came away with Takeshita as the winner, which was awesome. And as soon as Takeshita won, I'm sorry, let me back up. There was a moment where Claudio had gone out to cause a distraction. He grabbed two folding chairs, threw both of those in the ring, then grabbed his CMLL men's heavyweight title and was trying to like slip around the side of the ring while the ref wasn't paying attention and slip in to use it on Takeshita. When Hechicero came running down, yanked the title away from Claudio. They started arguing ringside. Takeshita did a tope, took him out, did all that. After Takeshita won, he went to the ropes, close to the commentary desk, and he's screaming and yelling trash at Moxley, like saying, like, get in here, like, let's go, let's fight, let's do this. And Mox got up and took the headphones off and was like gonna get in the ring. And then Takeshita slid out of the ring, and they were both standing there outside, just jabbering back and forth. When Hechicero came running around from the other side, hit Moxley, Takeshita grabbed Hechicero, pulled him aside, and was like, no, I don't need it. Don't worry about it. I got this. I can beat him. I don't need your help right now. Everything's good. And then Mox came flying back in, started beating up Hechicero. Claudio came around, took over fighting Hechicero, so Mox started going after Takeshita, and it was just this whole little battle there ringside. And that's when the feed ended. This match between Mox and Takeshita is going to be so good. There's no doubt in my mind that it's gonna. I legitimately think it's gonna go 37 minutes. We're in a 37-minute match, and I really can't pick a winner on this one. I want to say Takeshita because I think that 2026 Year of the Heel Don Callis family could collect more gold, but it could just be Mox. However, I do think there is a supreme possibility that Mox loses this. And this is when the Death Riders turn on Mox for not being good enough to hang on to the title and continue to be the, quote, leader, even though he's not. Like, apparently it's just a full open dictatorship the entire way through. But I think this might be where they turn on Mox. It's not a big chance. I would say this is a 30% chance they turn on Mox, but it's possible, and we'll see what happens. That's just my thoughts, my predictions. Now, we got a couple of announcements for Revolution. Number one, during the 0 hour, we're going to have a 21-man Blackjack Battle Royal, and the national title is on the line. So Ricochet is really going to have to watch his ass to hang on to that title. That's number one. Number two, we're going to have Jet Speed with Mystico taking on the Don Callis family for the trios titles. So that's going to be very interesting. I don't think they specified whether that was going to be during 0 hour or whether that was going to be during the show proper, but that's exciting. That's going to be a really good match. I'm very curious to see how Ricochet is going to hang on to the title. Big ups to my man Ricochet. I'm hoping that we get a little bit more of Ricochet versus Jack Perry during that, because I'm assuming Jack Perry is just going to be in it, and it's going to turn in. It's just going to continue their feud, which is going to be great. I'm all for it. But 21-man Battle Royal is something to behold. So we'll see what happens. The trios title match is also going to be awesome. I know that Mike Bailey is going after some singles title as well in the coming weeks. They mentioned it on the show. So Jet Speed could get the trios titles back with Mystico, which would be fine. I'm not against that. But I don't know if they're pushing each member, like Bailey and Knight, as individual solo wrestlers, because they're also planning on putting something around each of their waists as solo competitors. I think the Dogs, every one of them is a very competent solo wrestler, so I think that they could go after the trios titles and have it, and then also, because they're all insane and strong and powerful, all of them could also be going after individual stuff, so it keeps everybody kind of open and ready to go no matter which direction. So we'll just have to watch and see. I don't know. We are 8 days. By the time you're watching this, we're 7 days away from Revolution. It's going to be awesome. I'm so excited. I'm going to end it there. Be good to yourselves. Do 3 things this week that fulfill you. And I will see you Wednesday. Peace. I am the anime protagonist today. I'm not sure if you can see my eyes. I'm wearing my glasses. I have to know what's going on.